How do you top a game that has been considered to be one of the best games of all time? You beat Majora's Mask. For a while now, I've been struggling to decide whether I like Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask more. While both of them are N64 Zelda games and are very similar in terms of game mechanics, they are also extremely different in terms of story and progression. Both of these things are what I'm going to be looking for to find which game I like more. So let's get into my review of The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. We find our hero looking for something in the forest. This something is assumed to be Navi because it's said that he is looking for an old friend. He's probably looking for Navi so he can kill her for causing him to go insane.
Listen! Hey! Listen! Hey! Listen! Listen!
Almost instantly he gets stopped and robbed by the Skull Kid and the two fairies, Tattle and Tail. After taking his ocarina, the Skull Kid rides Epona into a cave and Link must follow after him. It's here that you discover the McTwisty Flip Jump, the best thing in the game. Link follows the Skull Kid down a giant hole and Skull Kid turns Link into a Deku Scrub. Skull Kid exits but leaves behind one of his fairy friends, Tattle, who apologizes to Link and basically becomes the Navi of this game. Luckily, whenever she needs you, there's just a dinging noise instead of Navi's violent shrieking. The duo reach the end of the tunnel and come to a big set of doors where they are stopped by the Happy Mask Salesman, who says he has a solution to Link's problem. All he has to do is get back Skull Kid's mask, which is called Majora's Mask. Link stops the all-powerful Skull Kid, who literally sends the moon to crash land into the earth with his spit. What? He grabs his ocarina and has a flashback of Zelda teaching him the Song of Time. Link plays the Song of Time, and time resets to 3 days prior to the Skull Kid's rampage. Luckily, Link keeps his ocarina because he has hacks. He shows the ocarina to the Happy Mask Salesman, who teaches him the Song of Healing, which turns him back to his original form. Of course, Link doesn't have the mask that the Happy Mask Salesman wanted back. So, the Happy Mask Salesman— Oh god! Stranger danger! Bad touch! Yeah, so the Happy Mask Salesman doesn't take kindly to being tricked, but he informs Link that the mask was used by an evil tribe for hexing rituals and must be stopped. The Happy Mask Salesman himself never reveals why he wants the mask. Theorists have thought that the Mask Salesman is a part of the tribe and wants to use the mask's power, as he seems disappointed when the power is lost at the end of the game. But this is where the game really starts. Link must speak to the 4 giants of the 4 different areas to get their help to stop the moon from crashing to the earth. He only has 3 days to do this. Holy crap! There's only 3 days! What am I gonna do? Panic mode! Panic mode! Assume the fetal position! Remember the Song of Time? It is the most important song in the game, as it allows you to repeat the 3-day cycle as many times as you want. Using this song doesn't reset your progress with the giants, for some reason. So you can finish one section and then reset time without losing progress. So come out of the fetal position because you have a world to save. Majora's Mask has 5 different main areas. The main town is Clock Town, and there's also Woodfall, Snowhead, Great Bay, and Ikana Canyon. Link must traverse these 4 areas and defeat the boss of all 4 dungeons to collect the boss's remains. Yeah, there are only 4 dungeons. And honestly, they're pretty average for a Zelda game. But that's not what makes Majora's Mask. It's all about the side quests, but I'll get to that later. The first dungeon is Woodfall. In order to get there, Link has to learn the Sonata of Awakening from a monkey. The monkey has been captured because the king thinks that he kidnapped his daughter, the princess. In reality, the princess is trapped in the Woodfall Temple. The Woodfall Temple is just an average dungeon. It utilizes the Deku Mask's ability to fly and hop over poison water. Oh, that's right, the masks. The main difference in Majora's Mask is the ability to use the power of the 24 masks. Some of them are cool and some of them aren't, but there are 3 main masks that possess the spirits of a person who has died. These have the most useful abilities. Anyways, the boss of Woodfall Temple is the masked warrior Odalwa. This is a cool fight because you don't have to use the item you found in the dungeon, or the mask representing it to beat the boss. You can use them, but actually the sword is the better option as it does more damage than the bow and the Deku Mask. Oh yeah, you get the bow here. Kinda forgot to mention that. After Woodfall, it's on to Snowhead, where the Gorons are freezing to death. How uplifting. Exploring the mountain village will reveal a cave and— No. No. No! Not you again, you bastard! I swore I would kill you if I ever saw you again! Oh. You were actually helpful, and it's the only time you show up in the game. Sorry for the outburst. The talking Noctowl here leads you to the Lens of Truth, which you can use to see a ghost of a Goron who leads you to his shrine. This ghost is Darmani, the former leader of the Gorons who went to Snowhead to see why winter wasn't ending. Unfortunately, he fell into a pit and died, and he wants you to bring him back to life. By playing the Song of Healing, you get to see how the other Gorons admired him as a leader. It's probably one of the most sad parts of the game. Then again, almost every scene in this game is sad. He gives you the Goron mask after he disappeared, which is my favorite transformation mask. It can roll around at high speeds with the use of some magic, its punch is twice as powerful as your sword, and it can roll into a ball and perform a ground pound attack. Using the Goron Lullaby, Link accesses Snowhead Temple. Snowhead Temple is— it's not good. It's pretty simple. You just have 4 rooms on all 4 floors. It's not very confusing in its layout, but it is long and it is boring, and it becomes even worse with how easy it is to fall all the way down to the bottom floor. At certain points in the dungeon, you need to use your Goron roll to get across these ramps. Some of these ramps don't have a railing or anything to protect you from falling all the way down. The Goron roll is not easy to control on such a small space, so if you aren't good with the Goron roll, you will fall a lot. The boss of Snowhead is Got, or Goat. This boss fight is really fun. Got runs away from you, so using the Goron mask, you can roll after him and use your spikes to hurt him. He will stop and use different attacks like throwing rocks or shocking you with an electric attack. It's well made, fast-paced, and fun. After Snowhead, it's off to Great Bay. Link finds a fallen Zora near the shore and uses the Song of Healing to rest his soul. Zora is Mikau, who is a part of the Zora band with another Zora, Lulu. Link gets the Zora transformation mask, which allows him to swim like a Zora. No more iron boots. Lulu had her eggs stolen by pirates, which the pirates lost 3 and still have 4. Link must collect them to unlock the song. The pirates' hideout is a stealth mission. If you are caught by the pirates, they will throw you out, so you have to be careful. The pirates' hideout houses 4 eggs and the hookshot. The other 3 can be found at Pinnacle Rock. The problem being, the water in Great Bay is too murky to see through. The only way to get there is to either 1, get really lucky and follow the signs underwater and hope you go to the right one at the right time, or 2, take a picture of a pirate for the fisherman in the fishing town. He will give you a golden seahorse that will lead you there. He's a pervert. Collect the 3 remaining eggs and bring them to the lab where you'll learn the new wave bossa nova. I love this song. Link uses the song to summon a giant turtle to bring him to the Great Bay Temple. I mentioned in my Ocarina review that I didn't hate the water temple, and that was actually a highlight in the 3DS version. Well, the Great Bay Temple, 3DS version or not, is awful. I'm with the majority on this one. This dungeon sucks. Now, I could tell you why, but I do make countdowns, so how about I count down the top 10 things wrong with the Great Bay Temple? Number 10. Turning the switches causes them to disappear into nothingness. Or hell. Probably hell. Number 9. Unrealistic arrow physics. There's no way this arrow could travel in a straight line through a swirling water vortex. Number 8. These hands. They're creepy. Number 7. Real Bombchus can run on water, which may give children the idea that they can do the same. Nintendo promotes drowning. Number 6. Racism in Zelda. These choo-choos are introduced in this dungeon, but the red and green ones have been in since the beginning of the game. Number 5. This boss exposes his balls. Number 4. Shooting an octopus with an arrow with an ice cube attached to it wouldn't immediately turn it into a perfect symmetrical ice block. Number 3. More balls. Number 2. The other bosses in this game have cool names, but they just named this one George. Number 1. This cutscene. Okay, so those are just nitpicks, but there are significant problems with this dungeon. An issue I have is backtracking. Now, it's no secret that Zelda games have backtracking, but in this dungeon they make you go to almost every room 2 or 3 times. In other dungeons there will be a central room that you revisit a lot, but here every room is like this. Another problem is the water. You have the Zora mask, so it should be made easier. However, there aren't many rooms that utilize Zora Link's underwater agility, so more often than not you will end up in a small underwater space with Zora Link's shitty combat skills. Lastly, the boss Gyorg is terrible. Even though all you have to do is stun and attack him, the camera makes it very difficult. When Gyorg comes close to the platform you're standing on, he's too deep in the water to get a clear arrow shot, so you have to stand as close to the edge as possible, which risks having you fall in the water and getting eaten. And he does a lot of damage to you as well. Once you defeat him, it's on to Ikana Canyon. Link must head to Ikana Graveyard and get the Song of Storms by defeating Skullkita and exploring a grave on the first night. After that, you will need to defeat the Gorman brothers in a race to get the Gara mask. Then you can access Ikana. Ikana is creepy. It's a dead wasteland filled with restless spirits of the Ikana Kingdom. And everything sucks for everybody. Souls can't rest, the water is poisoned, the well is creepy, everything is going wrong for these people. Song of Storms can be used to drain the poison water, which activates the music box house. For some reason, the music drives away the Gibdos surrounding the house, so you can now go inside. There's a little girl in the house that will come out if you make a bomb explode near the house. You can enter when she comes out and go to the basement where you'll find— Oh god, what is that? This is the little girl's father, who is slowly turning into a Gibdo. Using the Song of Healing, you can rid the scientist of his transformation and reunite him with his daughter. This is a very touching scene and one of my favorite moments in the game. Playing the Song of Healing gives you the Gibdo mask, which you can use in the well. The well. This place is creepy. Like, wow, this game is E for everyone, but no little 6-year-old kid could possibly play this without peeing himself. This is worse than the well in Ocarina of Time, and I thought that place was scary. It's dark and there are Gibdos and Poes and bats! Fucking bats! The goal of the well is to go through and find the mirror shield. You use the Gibdo mask to talk to the Gibdos, who all want you to leave them something. It's a lot of random stuff like milk or magic beans. After getting the mirror shield and leaving the well, you come up to Wakana Castle. Here you fight the dead king and his minions to learn the Elegy of Emptiness, which creates creepy statues of each transformation mask, including Link's normal form. This creepy Link statue spawned a popular creepypasta called Ben Drowned, which I'm sure you have heard of before. After escaping the castle, Link must scale Stone Tower using the Elegy of Emptiness. I hope you like the Elegy of Emptiness because you have to play it a lot. Then it's time for Stone Tower Temple. And this makes up for the rest of the dungeons. Stone Tower is amazing, and it is one of the best dungeons in The Legend of Zelda. It utilizes the mirror shield and the dungeon item, the light arrow, as well, and it uses every transformation mask too. It uses Deku Link's ability to fly, Goron Link's ability to walk in lava, and Zora Link's ability to swim. It even uses some of the other masks too, like the stone mask, but this dungeon gets so crazy that it basically turns upside down. Like, literally, it turns upside down. Using the light arrows, you can turn the entire dungeon upside down, which opens up more puzzles, areas, and completely changes some parts of the dungeon. For example, there is a room that has water in it before you turn the place upside down, but it doesn't when you go back in. For me, this completely melts my brain because you have seen these rooms before, but you also haven't seen them because it's upside down. Does that make sense? Probably not. This dungeon also sports a solid mini-boss against the Gara Master and a weird fight against Twin Mold. Before you fight, you get the Giant's Mask, which turns you into a giant. Who could have guessed? But it uses magic power, so you can purchase Chateau Romano from the Milk Bar in Clocktown for unlimited magic for the rest of the 3-day cycle. So you can use the Giant's Mask the whole fight and just wreck these things. And with that, it's about time for the end of the game. But wait. You only have 7 heart containers and limited masks because you haven't done any side quests. Side quests are the main portion of Majora's Mask. There are a ton of things to collect that are not required, but are very helpful. You could play the game through without getting all the items, upgrades, and masks, but you would be playing it the wrong way. Majora's Mask is all about the side quest. First thing to note is that there are 52 heart pieces in the game. 52! They are everywhere and they are definitely worth getting. They range from extremely easy and short to frustrating and difficult. The bow minigames. Oh, the bow minigames. There are 2 bow minigames in the game that give you quiver upgrades and heart pieces. To get the heart pieces, you have to get extremely high scores. The one in Southern Swamp requires you to get 2,180 points. This one isn't as hard as the one in Clocktown, which requires you to get a perfect score. The analog control on the N64 is the most precise, so this will probably take you multiple tries to complete. The 3DS version is a joke though because of the gyroscope aiming. There are also long quests that give you multiple items like the Romani Ranch quest or the Anju and Kaife quest. The Romani Ranch quest is my favorite side quest in the game. Using a powder keg, you can blow up the boulder blocking your way to the ranch. Talk to Romani, who says she is practicing because they are coming that night. This is where you get Epona back, and this is necessary to progress in the game. After getting Epona, Romani will have you participate in a minigame where you shoot balloons while riding Epona. If you agree to help Romani protect the cows from them, she will give you a bottle. There are actually aliens, or ghosts, or alien ghosts. They will try to steal the cows, so you must fend them off until 6 a.m. on the second day. If you don't, then they will take the cows and Romani. If that happens, she will come back on the 3rd day looking very sad. I've watched enough South Park to know what happened up there. Saving the cows gives you access to the next part of the quest, which is saving the milk cart from the Gorman brothers' attack. All you have to do is spam arrows and protect Cremia on the second night, and she will give you the Romani mask. Now you can get into the milk bar. There's nothing left to do in this side quest, but if you hang around till the 3rd day in the evening, there is some optional dialogue between Cremia and Romani. Cremia is going to let Romani drink Chateau Romani, which is basically alcohol. Cremia wants to make sure Romani doesn't feel any pain or fear when they die from the moon. That's just the thing about Majora's Mask. It looks like it's just a normal happy Zelda game, but it's not. The other side quest is reuniting Anju and Kafei. Skulk had turned Kafei into a child right before he was getting married, and then Sakon the Thief stole his ceremonial mask. This quest is super long, and you have to do it twice to get all the items in the game. I'm going to give a quick rundown of this quest. Talk to the Madame and get Kaifei's mask. Visit Anju in the inn and talk to her with Kaifei's mask on. She will ask you to meet her later that night. When you do, she'll give you a letter. Put the letter in a postbox and wait until 3 p.m. on the second day for Kaifei to come collect the letter. Sneak into the room he always comes out of and then wait for him. He will tell you his story and give you the Pendant of Memories, which you should give to Anju so she won't flee with the rest of the people in Clocktown. Go back to Kaifei's room on the 3rd day and speak to the Curiosity Shop owner and he will give you the Keaton mask. On the 3rd night, meet Kaifei outside of Sakon's hideout and don't let Sakon see you. Sneak in behind him and solve the puzzles inside to retrieve the Sun's mask. Go back to Clocktown and go to the post office where the postman is struggling to decide what to do. Give him the letter to Mama, which he delivers to her. If you talk to him after, he gives you the postman's hat before fleeing. Then go to the inn and wait with Anju for Kaifei to come. When he comes, there's a cutscene where they reunite their masks, which creates the couple's mask. Now go back and do the whole thing again, except bring the letter to Mama to her yourself, and she will give you the last bottle. This brings me to a main point that has to do with these side quests. Meeting these characters and getting to know their problems makes you want to help them, and that's not something that happens often in a game. Sure, there are rewards for helping them, but seeing these people happy is reward enough. Until you use the Song of Time to reset the 3-day cycle. The last important side quest is restoring the Great Fairies. All of the Great Fairies have been split apart into 15 pieces and scattered throughout the dungeons. If you do restore them, you get awesome rewards like health upgrades, a larger magic meter, a better spin attack, and a sword that does 4 times the amount of damage that the hero's sword does. But getting these fairies isn't a walk in the park, and if you die or reset the 3-day cycle, you must collect them all again. Just use the Great Fairy Mask in every room, and if the hair shines, scan the rooms to see where the fairy may be. They are especially difficult in Snowhead, where there are 2 in particular that are difficult to find, but it's definitely worth it. Now that you have some more stuff, it's time to finish the game. At the end of the game, Link uses the Oath to Order to call the Giants to hold up the moon. Majora advances the moon's power so the Giants can barely hold it. Turns out the mask is actually a conscious being that used the Skull Kid as a puppet. Link chases the mask into the moon. What the fuck? The inside of the moon is so peaceful. You would think it would be some crazy hellhole, but no, it's a peaceful grassland with a tree in the middle. Talk about mood whiplash. You go from the apocalypse to the most peaceful thing on Earth. You can talk to the children around the tree, and if you've collected all the masks in the game, you can exchange them to get the last transformation mask, the Fierce Deity mask. It basically makes you invincible with unlimited attack strength as long as you have some magic. Majora is the final boss, and it has 3 stages. The first stage, he floats around, and you must hit his backside to hurt him. It's not too difficult, and you can use arrows or your sword to hurt him. Then there's the second stage. Yeah, so this happened. The second stage is really weird, but it's not a threat at all, so it's pretty easy to beat. The third phase is the most challenging. Using light arrows to stun him is a big help, as it allows you to get close, but he will constantly use his whips on you, which can do great damage if you aren't defending with your shield. Once you defeat it, the moon is stopped, and everything goes back to normal. There is something to note here, though. First, the Giants still thought of Skull Kid as their friend, and upon that realization, Skull Kid goes back to being happy. Second, the happy mask salesman seems upset that the mask has lost its power, and then he disappears into thin air. Weird. Before I finish this review, I just wanted to touch on the 3DS version of Majora's Mask. In Ocarina of Time 3D, not too much was changed, but in Majora's Mask 3D, a ton of shit is different. And the problem is, a lot of the stuff didn't need to be changed. First, they added an eyeball to each boss. Why? The bosses were fine, they didn't need a huge blatant weak point. Except for Gyorg, but instead of completely redesigning that fight, they just gave him an eyeball. It still sucks. They also changed some mask locations. The Giant's mask is acquired in the middle of the Twin Mold boss fight. I guess as to make it more challenging, as you have to damage Twin Mold in your normal form instead of whacking him as a giant the whole time. They also moved the stone mask inside the pirate's hideout at the base of the ladder in the middle. Only problem is, the point of the stone mask is to use it so certain enemies won't see you, like the Gerudo pirates. But when you get to the base of the ladder, there are only like 2 more guards to get by using the mask. So you have to stealth around a lot of guards to get the mask, which would have been nice to have when you were stealthing around said guards. They also completely botched Zora Link. Like, what the fuck did they do to you? You can only swim fast when you use your electric shield, which eats away at your magic. Why did they change that? There was no reason to. I don't get it, but they also changed some minor things that aren't that much different to the original. Play the N64 version if possible over the 3DS version. In conclusion, Majora's Mask is a fantastic experience and is my favorite video game of all time. It's nearly perfect, except for the Great Bay Temple, but no game can be perfect. The story is fantastic, the gameplay and the design of Termina is amazing, and I haven't even mentioned the presentation. The graphics are nice and colorful and have been slightly improved since Ocarina of Time with a better frame rate. The music is also in my top 3 soundtracks of all time. And something that puts it over the top is the world that it creates for the player. The characters all have something unique to them, whether it be their own problems or problems with other characters. They make you, as a human being, want to help them. The Deku in the swamp have lost their princess to the depths of Woodfall. The Gorons are freezing to death due to the never-ending winter, and their leader has died trying to get to the bottom of it. The water in Great Bay has become murky, and people are going missing as a result. Ikana Canyon is haunted by spirits who are unable to rest. And even the Skull Kid, who we once thought was the villain, has had a depressing past where the giants he was once friends with left him alone. And it doesn't stop at the main characters. Almost every NPC in the game has some problem, whether it be the tale of Anju and Kaife to the girl in Ukana whose father was turned into a Gibdo. As Link, you help these people. You get to know them, you feel their pain, you feel their sorrow, you feel their anger, which makes it all the more rewarding to help them with their issues. When a game can make me feel for its characters, it's doing a great job. If there's someone out there who thinks that video games can't be art, I asked him to look at Majora's Mask. This game is truly art. Majora's Mask is my favorite video game of all time. It is a true masterpiece. This has been Trey from TCSGaming, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.